Live 95.1 presents Youth on the Rise. Youth on the Rise. A radio show by the youth for the youth. Join your hosts, Craig Hardell and Tanya Elias, as we shed light on pertinent topics at the cornerstone of our lives and our nation. Tune in to hear our guests every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. as we impart knowledge and guidance to our listeners. Don't forget, every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. on Live 95.1 FM. Youth on the Rise.
That's the most conspicuous place you would see, persons out of shape. That's the most conspicuous sign or place you would see, they're out of shape or they're fat.
Yeah, I very, very much agree with you. All right. Now, another one of those myths is that, and you will correct me, is that cardio burns the most calories. Is that so?
Okay. Before we go there, I want
Mhm.
to still make some contribution to the first myth with regards to eliminating fat around the tummy area, around the hips and so forth. I want the listeners to know and understand. You don't get rid of fat by just doing a localized exercise. When I speak of localized exercise, I'm referring to exercise in only a specific part of the body.
Yeah.
Okay, that don't work at all. You eliminate fat because see, fat is stored. The body stores fat
Mhm.
throughout the body stores fat throughout. Okay, and to eliminate fat, you have got to do general exercises. In other words, exercises that affects the entire body and not just a localized area like the arms, the tummy, or the legs, or whatever part of the body. Okay, so you have to your program must affect the entire body because the tummy is just one of the places that fat is stored. Now, one might want to say let me work on go on an ab program, do a
Mhm.
lot of crunches, a lot of abdominal exercises, and yes, you will develop abs because these exercises target the muscles. You will develop abs. Your abdominal walls will be strengthened, but you will not be seeing any sign of that. Why? Because it is covered with fat. You understand that?
Interesting. Yeah.
So you do crunches from January to December
Mhm.
or any other ab exercise. Your abdominal will be strengthened, and perhaps you might develop your pecs, but it will not be visible
Mhm.
because it is covered with fat. So doing those ab exercises does not eliminate any fat at all. So you have got to do general exercise for the entire body, aerobic type exercises for the entire body to burn the fat.
Right. Very, very interesting. Now let's move on to the next one, which I mentioned already. That cardio burns the most calories. What do you make of that?
Okay, have been I have been involved in physical exercise for a very long time,
Mhm.
and cardiovascular exercises is very important. As a matter of fact, it is one of the health-related components of fitness. Okay, and let me just inform the listeners
Mhm.
that the health-related components of fitness, and I'm stressing the health-related. Okay, it's cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, and flexibility. So these are the health-related components of fitness. In other words, these will contribute to good health. Again, let me repeat them: the cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, and flexibility. So so persons out there who are eager to indulge in an exercise program to enhance their health or to
Mhm.
maintain their health, you must be involved or engaged in those components or those health components of fitness. Now, back to your point that cardiovascular exercises um, contribute to fat loss, or yes, okay. Um, Physiologically speaking,
Mhm.
the body stores, of course, the food that you eat is energy. Okay.
Mhm.
Now let me break it down. You eat a plate of food. After digestion, first of all, glucose, a lot of sugar or glucose is released into the blood.
Mhm.
Now the blood can only accommodate a certain percentage of glucose or sugar. All right.
Mhm.
Now anything excess, it is stored as glycogen in the muscles.
Yes.
All right. Now the muscles can only accommodate a certain amount of glycogen. Now the remaining, now if there is more sugar, then the body is going to store it as fat. Okay.
Yes.
Now during physical exercise, within seconds, whatever glucose or whatever sugar is in the blood is
Mhm.
used up in a matter of seconds. All right. If the exercise persists for a couple of minutes, within minutes again, the glycogen. So when the glucose in the blood is depleted,
Mhm.
then the body goes to the glycogen stores,
Alright.
all right, to break down to form glucose to
Energy.
or convert the glycogen to glucose and use for energy.
Right.
Now, of course, that can only be sustained, or the glycogen can only sustain for a certain period of time. And then afterwards, if the exercise or physical activity persists, then the body goes to the fat stores. That is why it is advised that any training program, specifically for persons who wants to balance their weight. Normally, people say lose the weight. I don't like, you know, the expression, the losing weight expression. It's because you can lose weight to the point that you can become underweight, which is not
Mm.
healthy either.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, so I prefer to say balance the weight. Okay, so persons who wants to balance the weight, their physical exercise program should last in excess of 30 minutes, because within 30 minutes, all the glycogen and all of the glucose in the blood would have been depleted, would have been used up. All right, so if your program or your exercise session is just 30 minutes, you are not really targeting or burning any fat.
But
You understand that?
wouldn't that depend on the intensity of the
Well,
workout?
yes, the intensity as well.
Because now, new personal trainers design programs where you could have a workout in less time.
Mhm.
And again, yes, they amp up the intensity. But in that case, wouldn't that suffice? Would that suffice?
Well, again, as you rightly said, that will depend on the intensity.
Yeah.
But let's take, for example, persons who, especially persons who are overweight. I mean, you cannot give them too much at one time.
Very true.
Okay,
Very,
you
very
can't
true.
give them too much
That's
at one
sustained.
time. So you definitely have to reduce the intensity. Okay. So after 45 minutes to an hour,
Mhm.
the body, or in excess of 30 minutes,
Mhm.
the body would go to the fat stores.
We tap into those
Okay,
things.
start breaking down the fat. And again, that's why it's advisable that persons, the training session should go about 45 minutes to an hour, or even longer if it's possible.
Mhm.
But shorter than 30 minutes, not much fat is being used. Okay, but then again, that depends on the intensity of the exercise.
All right. Very interesting. Now, again, let's move on to stretching. And a lot has been said about stretching. And nowadays, new fad is that it's better to stretch, or rather, the first thing you do for a workout is where you move very slowly instead of static stretching. What do you make of that?
We live in a time where persons are developing a lot of programs. You get a lot of, as a matter of fact, you have more it appears that you have more trainers,
Yeah.
more specialists than ever,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are caught up, and because of that, you find new ideas and a lot of conflicting ideas as well with regards to that whole issue. But stretching is very important, very 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 important, because stretching, when you're stretching, you are not just targeting the muscles but the joints as well. Okay, and it's important that our joints be supple. And
Yes.
if you recall earlier when I mentioned flexibility as one of the health components of fitness,
Mhm.
a lot of people, they ignore this aspect because you can't be involved in a training program. For example, a lot of people like will just go jogging or walking and so forth, and then they ignore the flexibility part of it. Now, you may achieve your goals. Okay, let's say you want to balance your weight and through jogging or walking,
Mhm.
and you might achieve your goal, but then the joints, the joints the joints lose their flexibility. So it's very important that stretching, and of course stretching takes care of that. So with regards to your question, stretching is done both before and after the session. Both before and after the session. And stretching, which is an aspect of warm-up, is part of warm-up, is very, very important. And stretching follows, as a matter of fact, it's the last part of the warm-up in a general warm-up session. General warm-up session consists of exercises that will increase the body temperature, increase the flow of blood,
Yes.
all right?
Yes.
And of course, is going to positively affect the joints as well. And after that, you've done that, whether it be your jogging or skipping, whatever exercise that you engage in.
Mhm.
Then after that follows the stretching, okay, which is very, very important, especially if you are going to engage in explosive or very intense exercises. It's important that you stretch. You're stretching the muscles, you're stretching the ligaments in the joints, because these need to be properly warmed up, properly prepared for the activity ahead. So stretching is very, very important, and
Yeah.
then stretching covers the flexibility part of the training.
Very interesting. And not the culture, but while one stretching, yes, some people do stretch before the workout, but afterwards they forget to stretch.
A lot of people do that. Yes, a lot of people, they stretch before, and then they do their activity, and afterwards just walk away or walk away. And hence the reason why a lot of people suffer from, or after a couple of days, the
Mhm.
muscles are sore because, or the joints, they have joint problems because
Mhm.
they don't take time to stretch. Okay, the stretching is very, very important at the end of the session as well. Now, there's a difference between the stretching during warm-up and the stretching at the end of the session.
Okay.
The stretching at the end of the session is normally um, a longer period. For example, if you're going to stretch, do a particular stretching exercise, you hold it for a couple of seconds more. All right,
And again,
it's less, and it's done with less intensity
oh, okay.
than the warm-up stretch.
Interesting.
Okay, because this stretching is part of the cool down. The stretching at
Mhm.
the end of the session is part of the cool down aspect of the session. So it cannot be done as explosively or as intensive as the warm up.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because the objective here is to bring the
Uh-huh.
body back to its normal condition.
Yes. And interestingly, because I used to think that again after workout your joints will be a little more mobile because you've been explosive. Again, depending on the kind of workout, kind of exercise. Again, your joints are a little more supple. The range of motion is a little more, and during the cool down, you may be stretching a little more or holding it a little longer. Again, you said it'll be a bit longer, but just doing it for slightly higher intensity.
Not high, no, less intensity.
Oh,
Less
okay.
intensity.
Yes, that is a new one for me as well. Listeners, that is very, very, very interesting. Now, again, let us move on to weightlifting, especially for women. Women tend to have the tendency that weightlifting bulks them up. So they're afraid to touch even a 5 pound
Mm-hmm.
dumbbell.
Mm-hmm.
So because they fear that they'll develop that masculine body type.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Weightlifting, or let me put it that way, instead of saying weightlifting, let me say strength training, because weightlifting, that's actually um, what it does, strengthen your muscles. So
Yes.
strength training is vitally important, not just for females but for males.
Yeah.
But let me target the females first. A lot of females, they don't like strength training at all, and I even have that same problem in my program. Okay, they tend not to like strength training so much, but that is vitally important, and let me explain why. Women, in particular, generally women, as they grow, as they get older, because of their biological makeup,
Mm-hmm.
okay, women have a greater tendency to suffer from what you call osteoporosis. That's a weakness in the bones become weak,
Mm-hmm.
loss of density, and becomes feeble. And so it's easy for the bones to break. So they might just miss a fall or something, and might suffer a broken limb or a broken bone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's prevalent in women. Now, what will eliminate the chances of a woman developing osteoporosis as they grow up
Mm-hmm.
is strength training, not just cardiovascular. Cardiovascular will cater for your cardiovascular system,
Mm-hmm.
but the strength training targets your muscle. Now, if you have strong muscles, you have strong bones. If you
Yes.
have weak muscles, you
You
have
have
weak
weak
bones.
bones. Mm-hmm.
So as you strengthen those muscles, automatically those bones are becoming strong, because the bones, or because the muscles, or the skeletal muscles, the muscles that attach to the bones, to the skeleton,
Mm-hmm.
they they strengthen the bones as well, because they're connected to the skeleton, to the bones. All right. So it's important that listeners, particularly the women, that if you're involved in a training program, you must have strength training as part of your program. That's important, because women are more prone to, because of their biological makeup, more prone to osteoporosis. And strength, and what's going to eliminate the chance of developing that is strength training. All
All
right.
right.
Now, men do suffer from that as well. Okay. And another reason why it's important for men to engage in strength training,
Mm-hmm.
because that helps in reducing the risk of prostate cancer.
Really? Prostate cancer.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. As of late, a lot of men have been developing prostate cancer. A lot of men. And I want to make an appeal to particularly the young men out there. Guys, you've got to be involved in some kind of training. And not just strength training, but training on the whole.
Yeah.
But let strength training be part of your program. Be part of your program. If you do that, you're eliminating the chance of you developing prostate cancer. Okay? And whilst I'm on that, I want to also say that our society, somehow our society is plagued with cancer patients. Cancer is a big time killer here in St. Lucia.
Yes, because
Big
recently
time killer.
I attended a session by, is it Dr. Owen Gabriel?
Hmm.
And, well, I think you were there, and I was actually surprised by how common,
That's statistics.
the statistics showing how common cancer is in St.
Yeah,
Lucia.
it is indeed.
I
It is
was
indeed.
really
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah. And studies have shown that being involved or exercising regularly
Mm-hmm.
eliminates the risk of developing breast cancer in women, um, colon cancer, cancer of the ovaries as well,
Mm-hmm.
prostate cancer in men, and there's another type of cancer. I forgot the other one. But regular exercise eliminates, not well, lessens the risk of developing those cancers. And if our people would understand this, would understand how important it is to exercise. Um, Colon cancer and rectum cancer is very, very popular in St. Lucia now. Very, very, very popular in St. Lucia. And a lot of our people and a lot of our young people
Mm-hmm.
have developed those cancers. A lot of our young people, and people need to understand that one of the factors that will reduce the risk of one developing not just cancer but other non-communicable
Mm-hmm.
diseases, other chronic diseases is physical exercise.
Yeah.
Physical exercise. People, the lifestyle of our people have changed drastically. People have no time to exercise, no time at all. But we need to understand that our body is made to be used. That's how our body is made to be used. And if it's not used and used in a proper way, it's going to deteriorate. It's going to break down.
Oh
And
yes.
that is why we are contracting all those kind of non-communicable diseases all over the place, because we are not using our body and using it correctly. And the correct way to use your body is is being engaged in physical exercise. Physical exercise is very important. I have heard from persons who have vehicles, from mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
and they say if a vehicle is stayed down, not used or not driven or used over a period of time, it breaks down. You know, and it's the same with our body.
Yeah.
It's the same with our body. The longer the vehicle is used, I think, you know, the lifespan of it is longer.
Yep.
Likewise, if our body is not being used and it's not being used the correct way, we're going to suffer problems.
Yes. Very much agree. Now, again, listeners, the phone lines are open. If you'd like to make a contribution or if you have a question for Mr. Lionel, you can WhatsApp us or give us a call at 714-5574. Again, the number 714-5574. Again, we're speaking on common myths surrounding physical exercise, fitness, and healthy living. And we move on to needing to drink a specific number of glasses of water per day. Again, the recommended dosage is 8 glasses.
Yeah, that's what is recommended by doctors.
And again, different people I would imagine would need different amounts. So, what is your take on that? Because sometimes you may find people needing more, and people being uncertain as to whether it's okay to take in more water than 8 glasses.
Yes, for a while you've been hearing that doctors recommend that one consumes 8 glasses of water a day. Real and truly, in the age that we live in, this does not work anymore. This does not work anymore, and I'll tell you why.
Mhm.
Besides the fact that we are um, we engage in physical activities, if not exercise, but then we move,
Mhm.
we walk, and so forth. And on that basis, I guess doctor recommend that we use 8 glasses of water. Of course, if you're engaged in regular physical activities, you will know that 8 glasses of water does not suffice at all. Just does not suffice, because our body loses water in so many ways. So many ways our body loses water. Okay, and 8 glasses. So if you're physically active, 8 glasses just does not suffice. Okay. Now, for persons who are not, who perhaps are not as active or as physically active as others, perhaps the 8 glasses might not suffice either, because a lot of the food that we consume today are acidic, are highly acidic. All right, are highly acidic. Now, the pH of our body is 7, which is neutral.
Yes.
Now, when we consume all those acidic foods or we take in all these acidic foods into our body,
Mhm.
what's going to happen is going to increase the pH of our body. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, therefore, if the pH of our body goes down, which it goes down, it's from 7, which is neutral, goes down to 6, 5, 4, and so forth, then it's going to cause a lot of problems. It's going to cause health issues, health problems. So what is going to help neutralize those acids is water. It's water. So therefore, it's important that people drink water, drink as much as they can. Because we consider a lot of foods that are acidic. We know in St. Lucia, St. Lucians consume a lot of soft drinks.
Yeah.
And these drinks are highly acidic. Okay, highly acidic. And all that increases the pH of our body. So therefore, to neutralize all these acids, and not just soft drinks, there are a lot of foods.
The sodas,
Yes,
the
a lot of
beverages.
foods there that we use. Even there's some vegetable fruits and vegetables that increases the acidity of the pH of our bodies as well.
Interesting.
And so to neutralize all that acid is by, or the best way to do it is by drinking water. Okay, so it's important that people understand that they need to drink water. And don't wait until you're thirsty to drink water, please. If you wait until you're thirsty to drink water, that means your body is already dehydrated. We should be drinking water constantly. That's why I encourage people, I encourage my students, listen to me, you have your bottle of water, you walk in the water wherever you go, and you sip it every now and then. Water is the only thing that you can consume anywhere, anytime. You understand that? So it's important to drink water, and I encourage people to drink water as often as you can. All right? One way to know if your water level is very low, if you're dehydrated, is by checking the color of your urine. Okay, if the urine is very yellow, that might be a sign that you need water in your system. Your body is dehydrated.
Yes.
Okay? So that is one of the tests to know how much water is in your system. But I encourage our listeners, don't wait until you are thirsty to drink water. If that happens, that means your body is already dehydrated. So you need to drink water consistently.
Okay. Now, again, the myth I am about to go into is an interesting one, because a lot of people is always of the conception that the more you sweat, the better for you. What is your take on that one?
That's a misconception. A lot of people have that view. Once you sweat, you're burning fat. And this is not so at all. I want our listeners to know this is not so at all. Sweating has nothing to do with burning fat. Absolutely nothing. Sweating is the body's mechanism for cooling down itself. So very often you hear people say, I'm going to take a sweat. And that's a phrase you hear often, I'm going to get sweat. So the moment they see the sweating, they're satisfied that, hey, they're good, they burn some fat, they're good. But sweating has absolutely nothing to do with burning fat. Again, I repeat, sweating is just the body's mechanism, the body's way for cooling down itself. So we need to understand that, people. Because on a very hot day, you might just be seated in your house and you're sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might just be seated on a mango tree, seated by the roadside on a hot day, and you are sweating. That's no indication that you're burning fat. And as I explained earlier on, burning fat, you don't burn fat that easy. To really start burning fat, to really get the body started using the fat stores, you've got to be engaged in physical activity in excess of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I want our listeners to understand that. Okay, fat has nothing to do with burning, sweating has nothing to do with burning fat. So we need to rewire our minds,
Yeah.
so to speak. All right, and say and stop saying I'm going for a sweat. You go for a sweat, you start doing a few exercises just for 1-2 minutes, that's sweating. You feel that you've burned fat. You feel that you've burned some good calories. You feel that hey, you've achieved something, so you stop and so forth. But really and truly, you have not done anything at all. Okay? You have not done anything at all. So I want our listeners to understand that sweating has nothing to do with burning fat. As a matter of fact, persons sweat more than others. I remember I had somebody enroll in my program, a young lady, and listen to me at the end of a session. She should not have not a bit of sweat on her body, and she'd burn out, and not a bit of sweat on her body.
Interesting.
Because some people sweat more than others. All right, whereas somebody, by the time they end, we in the warm up, somebody's clothes might be soaked up already, but that doesn't mean that you have really burned some serious calories or burned fat. Okay, so it's important that our listeners know this and don't be satisfied by just sweating. You have not really achieved anything when you sweat.
Yes. Again, that is one of the biggest ones actually, because most
Yes, indeed.
people, most people will tell you that I'm going for a sweat,
Yes.
or really do a really quick workout, and the fact that they're sweating,
Yeah, they feel satisfied.
they feel
They
that
feel
they've
achieved.
burned,
Yeah.
they feel like they've burned fat. And the thing is, most people exercise, they do the same patterns of workouts over and over, and they wonder
Mm-hmm.
why they're not losing weight. And yes, the diet has a part to play in
But
that,
definitely.
but they don't realize that sometimes it's the exercises that they're doing is not intense enough,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they should really adjust that factor right
Yes.
here. Now, also, we have walking versus running, and people normally say that walking, yes, it's less intense, but people believe for fat burn, walking is actually more intense than running. Do you think that's the case?
I would say yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Let me address the yes first. I've come across a lot of people said who have told me that walking is better than running. Yes, it's better in the early stages. Because for example, you come to me, you have not been physically active,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially the women. Normally the guys who like, doing a little running, starting for a little jogging and so forth. But generally women they like the walking. They like the walking. You come to me, you tell me you want a prepare a program for you, or assist you with a program. I will I will test first of all test your physical condition, right? And based on that, I'm going to recommend to you what you should do. Now, for persons who have been inactive and especially persons who are obese, persons who are fat, persons who are overweight and really out of shape,
Mm-hmm.
I will recommend something that is very mild to start with. And after a period of time, you increase the intensity and the duration. Now, that's where walking comes in. You understand that? That's
Yeah.
where the walking comes in. So I will perhaps recommend you to do some walking, brisk walking over distance or over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then after a period of time, let's say a week or two, okay. If you have taken it serious, then I'm going to increase the workload. You understand that?
Yes.
Now, the workload here, I might increase your walking. Let's say within the first week, I ask you to walk for 20 minutes. Maybe the following week I might ask you to walk for 30 minutes. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay? But after a period of time, you realize that walking does not do anything for you. Because your body would have adjusted to that
Yeah.
to the walking.
You've
The
plateaued.
walking, yeah, it's a mild exercise. You understand that? So your body would have adjusted to it. So therefore, you need a greater challenge. You need something to really challenge you, to really work you out. Therefore, you've got to move to something that is more challenging, which is the jogging.
Mm.
So after a period of time, I'll ask you to start jogging. You understand that? Because the jogging is a more intense exercise than the walking. So I want people to understand that walking is not really more effective than jogging. Walking is a milder exercise that normally is recommended when you start a program. If that is if you want to go on a road versus going to a gym or another fitness program. All right? And after a period of time, okay, you have to do something more intense. You have to move to jogging. And people must understand that. So that's why I say yes and also yes in the beginning, because I can't put you on a training program where you have been inactive for a long time and ask you to
Yeah.
start
To
jogging.
work at a certain intensity.
Intensity, that's
Mhm.
right. I mean, that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Going to put excessive pressure on your heart and might cause some serious problems. You understand that? So I'm going to recommend something mild for you. If you compare that to a child, when a child first starts crawling, then stand, then walk.
Yeah.
A child does not get up and walk one time. Child crawls first. And then so you start with a mild exercise, and then with time you increase the workload.
Now, another one of the myths is that people say if you cannot exercise regularly, then why you do it? People say that they don't have the time, they're busy, they live busy lives, and sometimes they just can't find the time to exercise every single day. So why exercise at all? What is your take on that?
Exercise, listen to me, there's no getting away from that unless you don't want to live long, and you want to suffer from serious illnesses.
Hmm.
But there's no way of getting or running away from exercise. You've got to that's the body needs that exercise, a need. And let me add that exercise is a basic corporal necessity. Listeners, you must understand that exercise, physical exercise, is a basic corporal necessity. I like putting it that way. The same way water or exercise is as important to your body as water is to your body. So we drink water every day. It's like we can't live without drinking water.
Hmm.
Exercise should be the same.
Yeah.
Exercise is as important as we drink water on a daily basis. Okay, so there's no way we should run away from it. We
That-
have to. Now we live in a society where people, because of their profession, their jobs, their work, they become so involved and so occupied that they say they don't accept. But listen to me. It's pointless, Mr. Hadesh, that you work all your life, you acquire wealth, and you don't live to enjoy it.
You don't have time for your body.
You don't live to enjoy it. The same body that you're putting on the stress at work, trying to acquire wealth, get money, and this and that. The body that is the body that enables you to do that. But you need to take
Very
care of
true.
that body.
Very true.
You need to take care of that body. Now, if you don't take care of that body, listen to me. You might achieve certain things, but perhaps you might get a fat bank account. But that fat bank account, because of your recklessness and your carelessness,
It won't last very
you
long.
might use all of it might go in a day, in
Yeah.
one day, in paying medical bills. You
Sure.
understand that?
Mhm.
So we've got to take care of our bodies. It's very important, and it's important to exercise. Very, very important. So we need to come to a point where we need to realize that, hey, man, it's not all about working and working and working. I need to take care of that body, because if that body fails you, you can't work.
Yeah.
If the body fails you, can't work. So you've got to take care of the body. So you've got to make time in your busy schedule. You've got to make time.
Again, what alarms me is that a lot of people, not that they don't want to exercise, but a lot of people really don't view it as important.
As important.
It's interesting because even those people who seem financially successful and do well in their careers, say they have a good educational background, they don't give it the importance that I think that they should. And the only time that they do is when that they have a major health problem
Oh, yeah.
and the
Oh,
doctor
doctors,
tell
right,
the
right.
doctor instructs them to
Right.
exercise.
So why why wait? Why wait till your body breaks down? Why wait till the doctor asks you to indulge in some physical exercise?
Yeah.
Why not take the initiative early o'clock? Well, now that you're becoming aware of the importance of physical exercise, perhaps as early as tomorrow you should start.
Mhm.
You should start. Now, the other problem we have now in our community society today, where everybody seem to be a specialist. Everybody seem to be a coach, or seem to know how to do this, how to do that. We have very, very few. Actually, we have very few specialists. All right, we have very few specialists.
Mhm.
Now, I have realized that a lot of people they now turn to the internet and on the internet they get access programs,
Mhm.
and of course they follow these programs. But this is dangerous. This is dangerous. And let me explain. It's important, listeners, that before you engage in any exercise program, that you
Mhm.
consult a specialist or a professional in the field who's going to direct you, that's going to guide you. Because if I'm going to recommend, I'm going to prepare a program for you. There are certain things I need to know about you. You understand that?
Yes.
Now you go and copy or take a program on the internet. Listen to me, those guys who put a program there, the guys are not catering for you really. Because the guys the guys don't interview you, the guys don't ask you anything about yourself. So a successful program, a good program, has to be prepared specifically for you,
Yeah,
because
it
there's
has to
certain
match.
things
Yeah.
about you that the instructor must know in order to
Very true.
effectively prepare a good program for you.
Very, very,
You
very true.
understand that? So people are going on the internet and just copying programs and doing this. They see do this or they hear this and that, or perhaps there's some guys who have been involved in sports for a long
Mhm.
time, and they think that they know about coaching, they know about exercise, they know about all of these things, and they just instruct people. But that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Okay. So I want to encourage our listeners. It's important to consult a professional in the field. All right. Now I give free consultations, huh? Okay, I give free consultations. Persons who are interested in exercising, I will guide you, I will direct you. But it's important that you know you don't just follow anything,
Mhm.
or start doing anything on your own. Because while exercise is vitally important, it could be damaging as well. Because, for example, you have certain complications, certain abnormalities in your body, and when you engage in certain physical exercises, it can actually aggravate
Yeah.
whatever problem that you
And
have.
sometimes the abnormalities you don't
Yeah,
even know that you have
and you
them.
may not even be aware that you have those
Yeah, that's why it's
abnormalities.
worse.
You understand that?
Yes.
So first of all, it's important that you consult a doctor or get a medical examination to if you want to start an exercise program,
Mhm.
and then see a specialist in the field.
Very, very interesting. Now, another myth is that people say that I eat well and I don't need to exercise. I eat healthy and I don't need to. The fact that I eat well enough, I don't need to go to the gym. Or I don't need to engage in some physical activity. They seem to have the viewpoint that eating
Eating
healthily is
healthy.
enough.
Uh-huh.
What are your thoughts on that?
Let me say something to you. You have a vehicle. Do you think just by putting oil and fuel in the vehicle, that alone is enough to maintain the vehicle? Just by putting oil, that's all you do. Put oil and fuel into the vehicle. That's good. That's all you do. Is that going to maintain the vehicle for you? Not at all. The diet is important. As a matter of fact, it's diet and exercise. It's not exercise only or diet only.
Only.
The two go hand in hand and should not be separated. Okay, should not be separated. It's diet and exercise. So you can eat all your good food, all your you can do all your dieting,
Mhm.
and don't engage in physical activity. Listen to me. It does not. It doesn't. It will not stand at all. It will not stand. The fact that your body is not being used the way it
Mhm.
should, the diet alone will not suffice. It just will not suffice. You've got to engage in, because our body. Remember, our body is made to be used. Our body has to be used. And if it's not you, as a matter of fact, um, one of as of what I've noticed as of late, a lot of
Mhm.
people are suffering from how you call that? The arteries become clogged.
Um.
There's a term for it. A lot of people are suffering from that now. Okay, where the blood is not circulating properly in the legs or in the arms and so forth.
Yes.
All right. What happens is that people, if you're not physically active, you see that the blood carries a lot of substances.
Mhm. Oh
A lot of
yes.
substances.
Oh yes.
Now, if the blood is not moving or you don't like involve in physical activities
So it moves as freely as it
that will
should.
increase the blood flow.
Mhm.
A lot of those substances will be deposited in the arteries
Mm.
or in the veins, because the blood is moving very slow at a very slow rate. So a lot of the substances that the blood carries will be deposited in the blood vessels, and with time the buildup will eventually clog the blood
Yeah.
vessels.
That's why blood flow to certain areas becomes
That's
restricted.
right, and that's one of the reasons why you suffer from stroke too.
Very, very true.
You understand that? Okay. So being involved in physical exercise or regular
Mhm.
physical exercise will eliminate the buildup of residue, the buildup of substances
Mhm.
in the blood vessels.
And again, someone who doesn't exercise or say that they eat healthily and don't see the need to exercise, again, they're ignoring all the benefits of exercise as well. Again, stress reduction,
Mhm.
improving your fitness, improving your health. getting stronger bones, cardiovascular endurance. There are many benefits to exercising.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a study actually points out that a group of students in America from ages 9 to 12, they actually gave them physical education classes for 1 hour in the morning every day. I know that school became one of the top performing schools at a particular exam, which I can't remember correctly, in the world. And it actually forms the basis of a new book called Spark. Again, the argument here is that exercise not is not that it's one of the best. It's the best improve is the best thing to improve your brain power. Again, people advocate brain games and train the brain with those games and apps. But these games themselves have been criticized. And again, what people are saying is that you only improve at those games. And to really improve your brain power, it has to be improved through motion. Again, the body has to be given new stresses, new targets to reach. It has to be made uncomfortable and not just not exercising and sitting on the couch and playing a game. That won't improve you. So again, the fact that especially studies like one I just mentioned with students helps them so much. Again, people think that again a lot of people don't like PE, for example. They don't like physical education,
Yes.
and they think that even teachers sometimes they think that it impedes the students in some way. And again, such studies actually debunk that completely.
That's right.
And again, it actually shows that physical education, even on a daily basis in school, is actually necessary
It's
so that the
important.
students perform.
That's right. That's so important. But unfortunately, our people don't see that, don't see the importance and the benefits of enrolling or getting involved in physical activities. And even our young people in school. You know, just today I was speaking I was traveling on a bus and I was speaking to a driver. And the driver was saying, man, it's just amazing to see our young people today just don't walk.
Yeah.
I remember during my school days when we walked to school and people walk far distances to the school, but now students don't walk, children don't walk. And listen to me, you know what I want to bring for that? Parents, sometimes I drive to school on mornings and seeing students actually in the Swazel village waiting for a bus to
Yeah.
take them to school at reunion.
Yeah.
You understand
I've
that?
seen it myself.
And students just don't walk anymore. Young people just don't walk. As a matter of fact, it has gotten so worse. And not just young people, generally. That if there was a bus to take people from the kitchen to their living room, they would have taken that bus. No, seriously,
Yeah.
that's how terrible it has gotten. People just don't walk. People just don't want to move a muscle.
I agree.
You understand that? And that is not good at all. And hence the reason why chronic diseases are escalating in St. Lucia. You understand that? Because people are no longer physically active. The lifestyle has changed drastically.
And again, certain improvements in technology making life easier.
Easier. That's right.
It seems to remove the need for exercise, but actually it's not the
that's
case.
right. That's right. So whereas all of these developments are good, but we've got to be aware
Of how it's effective.
that it could be deterrent or it could bring distraction as well.
Yes, yes. Very, very interesting pointer. Now let's go to working out. And some people believe that it's better to work out on an empty stomach. So again, people tell you that it's better to work out in the morning or even in the evening. Some people, again, I'm saying two things there. Some people believe that it's better to work out on an empty stomach rather than have a meal, then wait, say, half an hour and then work out. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay. I guess the reason why people want to work on an empty stomach is physiologically speaking, they would tend to burn more fat, or in the sense that the body would resort to the fat stores a lot quicker, because if there is very little glycogen, very little glucose in the blood, then the body would go to the fat stores a lot quicker. Perhaps they may not be aware of that. They might not be aware of that technical aspect. But really and truly, if you're working on an empty stomach, and I wouldn't, although I don't encourage that so much. I encourage persons who are working out, they should at least eat 2 hours before they work out. Okay, at least 2 hours. Now, normally the persons who enroll in my program, I encourage them, before, try not to, after lunch, after you have
Mm-hmm.
had lunch at 12, if you really have to eat, perhaps something at 4, between 3 and 4, but something light, or let it be a fruit or vegetable, and not so much carbs
Mm-hmm.
or fat and so forth. Because the truth of the matter is, you say you're going to work out, and most persons, they work out, today most persons work out with the
Mm-hmm.
objective of balancing their weight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want it just before the workout, you eat, perhaps you eat let's say bread, you eat a piece of bread, you eat a
Mm-hmm.
loaf of bread and cheese, or the popular thing now, bacon cheese. That's what I see our young people eat now,
Mm-hmm.
bacon cheese. One, the fact that food is still in your stomach is going to give you problems, because when you're eating, for example, when you're eating, most of the blood will be diverted to the digestive system. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you've just eaten a meal, and you go and engage in physical exercise, you're confusing the body, you're causing a lot of problems, because during physical exercise, the blood is concentrated around the muscles. During After meal, the blood is concentrated around. Most of the blood goes to the digestive system. Now you engage in two big activities there. The blood, so the body has to share the blood. You understand that?
Yes.
Because the body has food to digest, and at the same time it has the muscles to take care of. So the blood is being shed. When the blood is shed, therefore it will not be active. It will not be effective. Your digestion will not be effective,
Mm-hmm.
and your working out will not be effective. And that's why people who eat who work out just after a meal, they realize they tell you they have stitch, or they feel dizzy, or that kind of stuff, because the
Ah,
body is
right.
confused.
Right, right, right.
The body is confused.
Interesting,
So you
yeah.
have to understand that you don't eat right before indulging in some physical activity, because all the blood, after you eat, all the blood will focus on the digestive system, because the food has to be digested. Okay. On the other hand,
Mm-hmm.
you are going to work out. You understand that? So you cannot be eating and working out at the same time. You understand that? Because the blood, the muscles, the blood need to go to the muscles to deliver the oxygen
Mm-hmm.
for the process of respiration, to obtain energy,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time need to eliminate the carbon dioxide. You understand that? So the two mixed up together is going to confuse the body, and it's going to cause some serious health problems, of course, if that is continued over a period of time. Okay, so it's important that if you're eating, some people say they work out on an empty stomach. The other thing is, um, if the stomach is literally empty,
Mm-hmm.
man, there might be a buildup of gas. It might suffer from gastritis and
Mm-hmm.
some of these complications as well.
Now, again, interesting because sometimes on evenings, say you come from work or from school, some people like to work out during that time. So again, what do you recommend that people consume before those workouts or even after? People tell you after this workout they were hungry, they've used up energy, of course, so they go and they have another meal. Say 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Say they've had food at work and they come back and then they have another meal after they've had that exercise for the evening. What are your thoughts on that?
It depends on your objective here.
Mm-hmm.
If your objective is to balance your weight, what I encourage, for example, most persons, it depends on most persons work out on it, especially the people that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
We work on evenings, and I am very careful that, and I always talk to them. I'm very careful that they don't consume too much after the workout, because I'm sure you've heard that eating at late night eating is not good.
Yeah.
Okay, and one of the reasons why it's not good, especially for persons who wants to balance their weight, who's serious about balancing their weight, it's important that they avoid late night eating, because you eat a big meal. Okay, you eat a lot of carbs, especially before you go and sleep or in
Mm-hmm.
the night.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is this: the food will be digested. Now, it's a lot of energy there. You're taking in. Food is energy. It's a lot of energy you're taking in. So what is the boy is going to? You're not going to use that energy because you're going the next couple hours or minutes. You're going to sleep.
You're gonna sleep.
You're going to
Yes.
sleep. You understand? So you're not going to use that energy. So what is the boy is going to do? He's going to store it as fat. It's going to store. It's going to convert all that energy into fat and salt because you're going to sleep now. You're not going to use your muscles,
Mm-hmm.
and so therefore it's important that you don't eat that's just in addition to the other health issues that
Mm-hmm.
late eating has. But I encourage them to, if they have to eat something light,
Yes.
and I try to encourage them not to eat try not to eat the carbs or too much carbs.
Especially after the workout.
That's right.
Again, something that even I wasn't certain about, because sometimes some people cook food in the morning and say if they go back home, then they work out, then they have that food, which is most of the time loaded in carbs,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they have provisions of the rice. And one of the thing that, yes, these foods are okay, but after workout, especially when you've burnt a lot of energy, well, you've used up a lot of energy and burnt a lot of calories, that may not necessarily be the best thing for you to be taking at that time.
That's right.
So, really and truly, one needs to watch, especially after the workout, their post workout snack or meal,
Yeah.
whichever you call it,
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
consume. And my
Yes.
next question is about fruits. Is it wise to consume fruits after a workout?
um Fruits are very, very important.
Mhm.
When we know that that's one of the means through which we get our vitamins and minerals, by consuming fruits. Now, I do encourage people to eat certain fruits at night after the workout.
Mm-hmm.
So I normally tell them, if they really have to eat something, try to eat a fruit instead. Instead of
Interesting.
eating a meal or carbs and bread and that stuff.
Yeah,
Try
especially the
to,
bread.
to get the fruit. The fruit is light. The fruit is light, and of course, the fruit does not have the fruit does not have as much calories as the ground provision.
I agree.
That would normally be consumed. Okay, so it's something light, and the fruits and vegetables. I do encourage them to eat a little if they really have to eat something. Some people say they don't, but if they really have to. On the other hand, you have persons who are working out for various reasons. Perhaps they're athletes, or be whatever whatever field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and of course they would have to be guided onto how much they eat. For example, if next day they have a competition, it's important that they eat a good meal. You call that carb loading.
Mm-hmm. A meal high in
You're-
carbs.
you're- yes, yes. So as to prepare them for the next day. And so forth.
Interesting.
I recall myself, as a matter of fact, growing up as an athlete and somebody who's been very, very physically active. My my heaviest meal would be in the night, in the evening. In the night, yes. My heaviest meal in the night.
And is that to prepare you for competition, or is that a normal thing?
That was normal, and people's bodies are different as well. Huh?
Oh, okay.
People's bodies are different as well, and that was normal for me. And I guess the fact that I was physically active,
Mm-hmm.
you understand that well, I'm still very physically
Again,
active.
your metabolic rate would have
My
been
body-
high.
That's right. That's right.
Alright.
That's right. Now
Yeah.
I just learned, since you mentioned that,
Mm-hmm.
yes, physical activity does contribute to a high metabolic rate. Okay, and it's important that we understand that. The more you exercise, the higher your metabolic rate. Now, if you have a very high metabolic rate, that means you'll be burning a lot of calories even at rest.
Yes.
So even while you're resting, you'll be burning a lot of calories because your metabolism is very, very high.
Yes.
So that's one of the good reasons that you must be physically active. You must exercise regularly.
Okay. Now, to wrap up, just a few last questions. Again, normally after exercise, you find people there's a few observations that I have had personally. You find people having eyes that are very red. Is that a sign of just fatigue, or just that the exercises are too intense, or is it a normal thing?
Um, I would say I would say it's a normal thing in the sense that it does not happen to everybody. Perhaps it
Mm-hmm.
might happen to certain persons, and could be as a result of the overexertion of the body, or sometimes, or for some people, you know, being involved in certain things just get the eyes red. For example, me after a shower, you will notice my eyes are very red. After having taken a shower, my eyes are red.
Okay.
You understand
Okay.
that? So it's not really a normal thing in the sense that it happens to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But some people that might happen, and when that happens, it may not necessarily be um, something bad, just the way
Okay.
the body reacts to it.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, sometimes it could be overexertion of the body.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you overexerted your body during your workout too much and so forth. But generally, it's not a threat. It's not a serious problem.
Okay. Now, my last question for you for this segment is that during the day, sometimes most people take multivitamins in the morning. Is it okay to not take a multivitamin in the morning and take it, say, at another time, say in the afternoon? Or is it best to take it in the morning? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, most of those multivitamins, the label will tell you what time of day you should take it, and you realize most times it says after a meal.
Yeah.
After a meal. And if it says after the meal, so I believe at whatever time you've had your meal, okay? Because it's a multivitamin, and we know a lot of vitamins help in the digestion of certain nutrients, okay? And if that particular multivitamin has a vitamin that would help in the breakdown of these certain nutrients, then it's important that you eat it you use it right after the meal.
Mm-hmm.
But I would recommend that multivitamins be taken in the morning. In the morning, the fact that of course you have a long day ahead of you, and your body will be at work.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be moving, your
You've been
muscles will
using
be
a lot of
working, and so
energy.
forth. You'll be using a lot of energy. So then, that gives those vitamins the opportunity to be used
Yeah.
optimally
Interesting.
in the body.
Very, very interesting. Now, listeners, we've listened to a packed segment, I would say. A lot of questions been answered, been asked, a lot of myths been debunked. And as I'm about to wrap up, as always, I'd like to thank Mr. Davidson Lionel for coming on. Again, his advice, his wisdom has been very timely and very important for not just our Suzerian public, but the island at large. Again, we live in a time where people really do not see exercise as being important, and and even worse that not many people coming out and really speaking on the importance. People just accepting that people are going down the wrong path and just not caring. And it's important that we ourselves try to educate, try to enlighten others, and really show them what they're missing and what they can do to really remedy that path and improve their health. Because your health is everything.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And it's a burden that I have. You know, being experienced in my field, and
Mhm.
being involved in the community, and coming across so many people who are suffering from health issues unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. If only they were involved, they were taking proper care of the body through exercising, eating properly. A lot of those chronic diseases would not be so rampant in our society today.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and it's a serious, and that seriously concerns me. seriously concerns me. And it's important that our people understand that they've got to take care of themselves. They've got to engage in exercising, regular exercising, and doing the right, and not just exercising, but as I indicated earlier on, they need to be exercising the right way as well.
Yeah.
And they need in order to do that, they need to consult a specialist in the field who can guide them and direct them. And we don't have that. We people just do things on their own. Okay, so it's important that you consult a specialist in the field, somebody who can guide you and direct you.
And if someone wants to reach you, can you give the listeners contact information or
Alright.
your gym?
Yeah, well, I have a program, a fitness program
Mhm.
at the Reunion at the Center of Excellence, which is which used to be the Schwazel Infant School, is the Hayes building down there. And the sessions are held on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 6:30. Okay. Other than that, I'm available to assist anybody who wants to start a program, perhaps may not want to enroll in my program, but wants to exercise on their own. I
Mhm.
can assist them and direct them in doing that as well.
Interesting. And is that consultation free?
That's free. Yeah,
Okay.
that's free. That's free.
And for those listeners who don't know you personally, is there any number that they can reach you at?
Yes. My contact number is 715 45 88.
Okay. 715
4588.
4588. All right. That sums it up then. All right, Mr. Lionel, for the second time, I'd like to thank you for appearing on Youth on the Rise. And listeners, this is now the end of our show for this evening. Again, speaking on health issues and exercise myths, really is really an important part of sensitizing our listeners, sensitizing our nation, and really correcting many of the health problems that we have imposed on ourselves. And we have imposed on ourselves because of a lack of knowledge and also malpractice. Again, the wrong things being thrown at us, and we not really making an effort to really find out what's right for ourselves. So, again, this is the end of our segment, and again, it's one of the best segments that we've had so far. It always pleases me when we have advice on health because that is relatable to everybody. No one can escape it. We all need to exercise. We all need to take care of our bodies while we're alive, and we all need to take necessary actions to avoid the many diseases and wrong choices that await us if we don't exercise. Okay? Now, you've just listened to another episode of Youth on the Rise. Again, I am your host, Craig Hardell. Stay tuned for another episode next week. Remember, Monday nights at 8, right after the DBS news. Everybody, all my listeners, good evening and goodbye.